Hi, I'm Andrew Potocnik and I've been writing for Australian Wood Review for something over 20 years, and amongst my articles I've included a number of tool reviews. So this time I'll be looking at the new range, well new for Australia, range of Crown Cryogenic tools. I've been given this pack of, Crown Cryogenic tools, which apparently are using new hardening technology. In the process of hardening or annealing and then hardening tools, a heat process is used, except that in this particular case they are frozen into a hardened state, altering the molecular structure of the steel, which apparently will hold an edge for around 50% longer than normal. So as a kit, I've got a spindle roughing gouge, a bowl gouge, a spindle gouge, a skew and a parting tool. So the easiest way to get an idea of how they work and what the sharpness is like is to whack a piece of wood onto the lathe and give it a go. So I've got some slightly wet pin oak, Quercus palustris, so let's give it a shot and let's see how the tools work. I do have to admit, they do look pretty good. The black handles look great, especially with the silver. In your hand, they feel very comfortable. The blade length is nice, the actual handle feels good, and I find them nicely balanced. So let's get started and see what the tools will do once we actually put them to use. This wood is a little bit out of round, which is not a problem, and the tools seem to be really nice and sharp, being very comfortable to roll onto the side, and I've actually reground the bevel on this particular tool, giving it a slightly longer bevel and a sharper angle. And having used it straight out of the box, which was fantastic to begin with, I find that a slightly longer bevel and being ground on a finer stone has made a difference, and I'm quite pleased with the results. I've just wound the speed up a little more to give the wood a bit more momentum, and let's hope that we'll get a cleaner surface. And no problems in the use. Cutting cleanly. And as I said, it just feels nice in the hands. It's not a heavy tool, but it's just feels right. So once I've got my timber roughed down to a cylinder, let's have a look at the surface. Quite similar to what you'd expect from any other spindle gouge, but it's more the way it performed while I was cutting that I liked. So let's move to a skew and see what the result is with a skew. As always, for a skew, you raise the tool rest well above centre height on your wood, and first, just laying the tool, and by the way, this is straight out of the packet. I have not done anything to this blade. I haven't honed it, I haven't reground it. This is straight out of as a factory grind. Feels quite fine to cut with. Other things that I often use a skew for is cutting definition lines, nice sharp tip, cuts cleanly, looks quite okay from here. Let's see what it looks like once the wood is stopped. A bit more difficult to see with, there's the trick. The light was casting a shadow on the wood, so I hadn't cut all the way in. And there we are, we've got a clean cut, and let's have a look at how the surface looks. Yes, quite okay. So the skew's nice, and as I said, this is straight out of the box. I haven't done anything to the blade. Parting tool, this particular parting tool's already had a bit of use, so it's not really super duper sharp anymore. Again, I haven't done anything to the angle, and I haven't done any sharpening whatsoever. So this has been used for couple of, let's say about 30 minutes, and still has a good edge. And even though the handle is the same as the other tools in the kit, it still feels comfortable in use because I'm able to hold on to the end of the handle, whereas with the roughing gouge I held it further up the handle. And the blade length allows plenty of grip so that I can work comfortably. So, three tools there. Spindle gouge, often used for rolling beads or shoulders. I have actually reground this one slightly so it has a longer bevel and more of a fingernail grind. Out of the packet, it was more of a square ground chisel or gouge, depending on your terminology. Quite easy to roll the tool over to get a bead. In terms of surface quality, nice clean surface. Pin oak is not a notoriously difficult timber to turn, but nice clean surface nevertheless. Putting that one aside, a bowl gouge, which you don't normally use on spindle work, but nevertheless I'll give it a go. This was ground quite square across the front, and all that I've done in regrinding it is I've ground the wings back slightly so that I don't get catches on the sharp corners. So more of a bowl turning gouge than anything else, but can be used on spindle work if you wish, and by increasing the length of that wing, I can actually roll that over and use it in a similar cut to the way I'd use a skew. So you can see the shavings are coming off quite cleanly and easily, and again, with the length of the handle, I find I'm using the upper part of the handle, resting the bottom part of the handle on my side. But what I was going to say is that it's an easy gouge to roll into either a cove or to form a bead.